job. As it turns out, selling insurance is a blast. Let me give you an example. For instance, yesterday, this man comes rushing up to my desk and says, "Popped the question to my girlfriend last night. Can't believe she actually said yes, but her mom and her girlfriend say love makes women blind, so they won't let me marry her unless I buy some insurance policy from something called MMO, whatever the heck that is." So I said, I can help. I pulled out a brochure and said, since we women believe we have a constitutional right to live happily ever after once we're married, we started a marriage maintenance organization to ensure that we do. Well, he whipped out his checkbook, readied his pen, and said, "That's not going to be a problem for me. I worship the water Jennifer walks on." I continued. And unlike HMOs, our policies rely heavily on prevention. For instance, you'll get a free 1-year subscription to Cosmo for Men, an invaluable source on relationship and bedroom advice, a 15% discount on thousands of books that we have here at Finding Mr. Right stores, like How to Get Every Conceivable Honeydew Weekend Project Done to Her Standards. Then there are the hundreds of how-to DVDs, like This is a Washing Machine, and this is how you use it. So I make the check out to... I continued. There are support groups for her when you get on her nerves, stud muffin bodybuilding classes for you, and, of course, all the beer belly liposuction and Viagra you'll ever need. The price! I gotta marry her this weekend before she comes to her senses. At that point, I leaned back in my chair and said, "But it doesn't work that way, sir. Before I can issue you a policy, we have to test for preconditions." Preconditions? For the 3,248 annoying habits that drive women crazy that we've cataloged so far, take these forms and fill them out, and we'll have you out in 6 hours or so. 6 hours? About that time, another client comes trudging up to my desk, flips the forms down, and says, "I finally finished all my tests. Now, how much is this policy going to cost me?" Ah, yes. Your results are coming off the printer now. And you will be glad to know that the genetic tests show that mental illness does not run in your family. Unfortunately, you do have some serious preconditions, and unless you take certain workshops, I'm afraid you're uninsurable. Huh? Well, it says right here that your parents went through a bitter divorce, and studies show that increases your chance of divorce by 65%. But I'm not anything like my parents. Oh, that's not what your mother said. She said, "You're exactly like your father, and that's why all your old girlfriends left you." You called my mother? At that point, he starts leafing through the report in horror and says, "But I do not need to take a workshop on how to not be an asshole at home like I am at work. And I would never treat Nan's job like a hobby. And I would never, ever try to stop her from hanging out with all of her male friends." Well, that's why we use a lie detector on that portion of the test. But if I take all these workshops, I won't be able to go out on the weekends with the guys or buy the power tool or the motorcycle I've always wanted. Now, sir, when your fiancée is old and gray, do you really want her to look back on her life and wish she'd chosen what's his name instead of you? No, but why doesn't she have to take a bunch of workshops on how to put up with my crap? Or why doesn't she have to do things to make me happy, like get breast implants? Come on, sir. She's not the problem now, is she? She's perfect in every way. Isn't that true? But I swear to God, I'm a totally different person when I'm with Nan. She makes me want to be a better man. Shouldn't that be worth some sort of discount? All right, sir. I'll make you a deal if you can give me one good reason why such an incredible young woman like her would have anything to do with a man like you, I'll give you that discount. He racked his brain trying to come up with something and then finally blurts out, "But what if the very thing that she finds adorable about me are my long list of character flaws?" Sir, when she came into your life was suddenly filled with wondrous possibilities. Isn't that true? And your inner life was suddenly filled with beautiful thoughts and feelings. Isn't that right? Now, do you really want to go back to the life you had before? Well, he sat there and agonized over it for a while and then finally said, "Go ahead and sign me up for these classes. And ladies, there's $100 in it for you when you send more clients my way."